मॉर्निंग सर, गुड मॉर्निंग।
गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग। अच्छा ठीक है, रिकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट कर दिया, मैं स्टार्ट कर देता हूँ। ठीक है, ओके ओके। कल हम लोग यहाँ पर थे, सौरभ।
Yes,
So
sir.
we are going to start from here today. So as we discussed, थोड़ा सा पीछे चले जाते हैं for make to understand. So make basically any organization which gets into the industry, okay, which wants to get into the industry and start doing business. These are the 5 forces that are there which we need to consider very strongly. That whether we have favorable environment for business. So all these 5 forces will try and pull you. Number 1 is rivalry among existing competitors. Okay, if there are very heavy competition, then the chances are that you will not be able to do a business very easily. Okay, so and then there are threats of new entrants. So if the industry's entry barrier and exit barriers are not very strong, the new entrants can keep coming in. So as of today, think about businesses of today, startup businesses of today. Anybody who is coming in a month's time, 2 months' time, there is a copycat there. Somebody copies the business and starts a business. Okay? And so threats of new entrants are if there are threats of new entrants, which is very high, then it is a challenge for a new business to get in. Okay? Then bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers. So if the suppliers are too big or too many, then it's okay. If the suppliers are not too many, just a couple of them are there and they are very strong, then possibly the new business entrant who is coming in, for him it will be difficult to bargain, to negotiate price, and so on and so forth. And at times it also happens that if the supplier is too strong, there can be a chance of forward integration. What does that mean? Forward integration means that supplier can buy that company itself, and this is another threat. Okay? Then bargaining power of the buyers. If there are too many buyers, okay, and too many, if there are, if there are too many suppliers, the bargaining power of customers or the buyers become higher, because I can switch easily. If the switching cost is low from one product to the other, if there is almost no switching cost or switching cost is low, the customers will say, I don't care. Okay, to buy from you, I'll buy from somebody else. So bargaining power of buyer is another big thing that we need to understand. And when does bargaining power of buyers happen? When there is a price sensitivity is low. Okay, when there is almost no difference in quality, the only fight is in the price. Okay, then and there are too many suppliers, and then there's a chance of big bargaining by the customers. Correct. And also here, when there are big buyers, there is also a chance of backward integration. The buyer can still buy back the company. ठीक है, बहुत बड़ा buyer है, he can buy back a small company and start his own business. Okay. And finally, the threat of substitute products. Okay, it's not always necessary that there are direct competition is there. Sometimes substitute products are also there, which is a big challenge in the market. Correct. So think about any substitute which can be used in place of something. So today, if I'm talking about, suppose, let me take a very, very simple example of an ink pen. Okay, a pen which is used to write, which had ink earlier. Slowly, the ink pen has gone out of the market almost. There are few. The whole ball game has changed, and now there are ballpoint refill pens. Correct. So the substitute is so big that ink pen company, if you want to manufacture ink pens and come into the market, it is very difficult for you to get into the market. Because that other product is also a pen. It also helps you in writing. Okay? It doesn't need, refilling of ink every time. Correct. So these substitutes needs to be considered very, very importantly when you are talking about entering into the market. These Porter's, Michael Porter's five forces are a basic theory. When you think about doing a business, these are the basic theories, these are the basic forces that needs to be considered, and then decisions has to be taken whether you're going to get into the market or not. Okay. And so when you talk about threats of new entrants, what are the threats there? And why should a new entrant as a company think? What should a new entrant as a company think? Whether he has economics of scale, whether he can manufacture huge quantities so that he can have economics of scale, the cost can go down. Okay. The more you manufacture, the larger quantity you manufacture, the cost goes down. Correct. And that's called economics of scale. Okay. That your scale is high, scale is big. So when I'm trying to compete with large companies who has a huge manufacturing capacity, what happens is his cost comes low and fighting with him becomes very difficult. Okay. Product differentiation. For new entrants, product differentiation is a big thing. What differentiation am I going to provide to the customers? Okay. Because it's very, very challenging when there is a big number of competitors in the market. What new am I getting to the customers? Okay. Brand identity and loyalty. If there are big brands in the market, in the same category, the competition has big brands, then your brand identity will be very low. Okay, there'll be customers who are loyal to those big brands. So breaking that loyalty will be very difficult. Correct. Access to distribution channel. If you are new to the market, getting the distribution channel for your product itself will be difficult. Because all the good distributors, all the good intermediaries, they would always be having the bigger companies, the larger companies. So it will be difficult for you to access those, distribution channels. Suppose you are getting into a software business to move. First of all, do you know what is the distribution channel? Okay, I know what is the distribution channel. Fine. Will those distributors entertain you? Will those distributors be interested to buy your product and sell them? Okay, so these are all challenges. Capital requirement. When you get into a new market, the capital requirement is huge sometimes. Whether you're able to, provide that much capital, that much money for that business. Access to necessary inputs. Okay, absolute cost advantage. Because you are small, you will not be able to manufacture big quantities. So your cost will always be a little higher. So you will not have much of cost advantage. Will you be able to manage that? Okay. And similarly, experience and learning affairs, government. So experience and learning effect. They say that the more experience and learning you have, it has a direct effect on your cost. Okay. The more learning you have, where am I, spending more money, and you can reduce those costs. Okay. And that is got the, learning effect on cost. Okay. Government policies. There are government policies sometimes which are very big barriers, entry barriers for companies. Okay. Switching costs, that your customer has to switch from another product to your product. If the switching cost is low, not to worry. But if the switching cost is high, customers may not come to your product. Okay. I was giving an example yesterday of switching costs. Suppose I have got a software which is implemented in an organization, okay, for something, for possibly ERP, for possibly CRM, customer relationship management, and implementation of that, getting that software itself was a huge cost. Now, tomorrow I need to replace that with a new entrant, with a new company, new software. The cost will be so high that it is not worth it. And that is the switching cost. And sometimes companies or customers want to avoid that. If it really doesn't have a great, advantage or benefit. Okay. Expected retaliation from existing players. Okay. So existing players, if they are large, they will play all sorts of games with you to get you out of the market. There'll be a lot of retaliation from the existing big players to get you out of the market. Correct. So that's something which is for the new entrants. Then when we say bargaining power of suppliers, the number of suppliers, if you have less number of suppliers, the suppliers have higher bargaining power. I only have 2 suppliers for raw material. So they will decide, they will dictate price, they will dictate payment terms, and so on and so forth. Okay. size of supplier, supplier concentration. Okay, supplier concentration in a particular area, how many suppliers are there and how deep rooted are they? Okay, so availability of substitutes for suppliers' products. Okay, uniqueness of suppliers' products or services. Okay, so if the suppliers are unique and you don't have a choice, if they provide you a particular quality of product and you don't have a choice to get it somewhere else, then you do not have any bargaining power. They will do the bargain. They will do the dictate. They will dictate the terms, right? Okay, switching cost of suppliers' products, again, same thing. So if I want to switch from one supplier to the other, the cost of switching possibly will be very high sometimes, because you have to look at the quality standards, you have to look at the manufacturing standards, and so on and so forth. So sometimes what happens, let me give you an example of companies like McDonald's, Domino's, or maybe Starbucks. Okay. Now they have a lot of suppliers, a lot of vendors who provide them with, if you talk about McDonald's, there are suppliers who provide them with burgers. Some suppliers provide them with their sauces, spices, and so on and so forth. Now, if that they have to change a supplier, they have to go through a lot of quality control steps. Okay. And that is possibly sometimes very, very, costly affair. And that switching cost is not worth it. Okay, unless that new product that they are going to buy is something unique or something much, much different to what they were using earlier. Okay, industry threat of backward integration. Okay, and forward integration. Suppliers threat of forward integration. So supplier, what they can do is, if they are too big and you as a company is small, they can buy out your company and do the business themselves. Okay, so that's a bigger challenge actually. And industry threat of backward integration. Okay, sometimes the industry players will buy you out. A bigger company can buy you out. Okay, and that's another big challenge. The Reliance coming and buying out small, mobile network companies. Okay, so that becomes a bigger challenge there. Suppliers' contribution to quality of service of the industry products. Okay, yeah. So suppliers, sometimes some suppliers are so strong in the market that their quality or service is so good that you cannot avoid going without doing business. You cannot do business without going to them. Okay. Importance of volume to suppliers. Okay. So suppliers need volumes. Can you give volume to them? If you don't give volume to them, you will not get good suppliers. Okay. Total industry cost contributed by suppliers. Okay. So suppliers overall contribute to the industry, right? Their own business contributes to the industry. Okay. So industry's cost depends on the supplier's materials. Correct. Think about electronic industry. Okay. Think about the mobile phone makers, laptop makers, and so on and so forth. They have, those chips, integrated chips, which they use. So we apne laptop mein likha aata na Intel, there's that. Okay. So Intel is a supplier to these laptop companies, mobile companies. Their chips are made there, and there are so many suppliers of different electronic, components of these laptops, mobile, and so on and so forth. And so industry's cost, the mobile's cost or the laptop cost is very highly dependent on the supplier's price, right? How do they contribute? Now, you cannot think of a laptop without an Intel chip inside. Correct. Think about Windows as a platform. You cannot even think of a laptop without Windows. Think about Microsoft Office as a platform, as a software for your all the Office, PowerPoint, Words, Excel, etc. Can you think about a laptop without or a desktop without a Microsoft Office? No. So the whole cost of the industry of the laptop and desktop industry depends on that Microsoft Office cost. So the total industry cost contributed by the supplier, you cannot switch. What will you get? What will you take if you do not have Windows and Microsoft? The cost is very high, correct? Importance of industry to suppliers' profits. Okay. So the whole industry contributes to the supplier's profit also. Today, think about you coming into the industry, you want to make a new laptop. And you say, no, my laptop, I don't want Windows. I don't want Microsoft Office. Can you do business? Possibly very, very challenging. You will get a solution possibly. But Windows, Microsoft, they actually dictate terms. They run the industry almost. So that's the bargaining power of suppliers. Any question up to here?
No, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah? Okay. Sure. Let's get into the rest of the three. Bargaining power of buyers. So buyers volume, number of customers. Okay. So if the buyer is too big, he can give you big volume. So he always has bargaining power, right? Okay. Size of each buyer's order. So when the buyer's each order is big, that gives him an edge to bargain and negotiate and get the price low. Correct. He can dictate terms. Buyer's concentration. If in one area there are too many buyers, they can together make a group and they can start by bargaining with you. You have to give them at low cost. You have to share your profits with them. Correct. Buyer's ability to substitute. If the buyer has a choice to get a substitute, he will possibly not buy from you. That's a challenge for you. Correct. Buyer switching costs, again, same thing. Buyer's information availability. If the buyers have all the information about your industry, they have all the knowledge about your industry, your supplier, you as a company, as a supplier's industry, then of course they can challenge your price, they can challenge your cost, they can talk about the final pricing to given to them, because they will say, मुझे मालूम है आपको ये मैन्युफैक्चर करने में कितना आता है, कितना पड़ता है. मुझे मालूम है आप इसके अंदर, I know you are using Intel chip inside. What is the cost of Intel chip? I know you are using this component, this ingredient inside. What's the cost of this? If they have all the information with them, they will always have an edge over you, because they know exactly where are you, what is the size of your business, what's your cost of your business, what's the quality of your product, everything. Buyer's set of backward integration. So again, same thing. If the buyer is too big, he can buy out your company. He can, because buyers don't want to, always take from the company and just get a bit of margin, a bit of profit. So sometimes if they're too big, they will say, no, I'll buy out the company itself who's selling me. And I will take all the profits. I will do the distribution business. Correct. Industry threat of forward integration. Again, we came to know about backward integration, that industry buying your company. Okay. As an industry, you are buying, as an industry, they are trying to buy you out. So that's a forward integration. Okay. Suppose think about the mobile network industry. Okay. Think about all these small companies, Idea or Aircel, which were there 5 years back. Vodafone bought out Idea. Aircel was taken by Jio. Okay, and so on and so forth. So industry big players, they have come and bought out your distribution or your company. Okay. And finally, price sensitivity. Buyers can buy if the price is not much of a, quality is not much of a difference. Okay, then buyers can bargain with you. Okay, you cannot, something similar to we were discussing, I think I was discussing with Saurabh yesterday, in the industry that he's currently working, possibly the lubricant industry, there's no difference in quality. That's what he said. All lubricants of different grades are same. So to the buyer, why should the price be different? So he has a choice to bargain. So the challenge for you is to keep the cost low, cost of production low, all the cost low, Cost of production low, cost of marketing low, cost of sales low, cost of distribution low, everything low. So that if you can keep your cost low, you can still sell at a lower price with good profit. So that's what the bargaining power of buyers are all about. Threats of substitute products or services, as I said, if there is a substitute in the market, you need to consider that. So I was giving an example of bottled water. So bottled water's biggest substitute is filters, water filters. Correct. So sometimes you need to also look at, Are Baba, I'm getting into a market where water filters are selling. What is the volume of water filters? Okay. Because that's going to be directly affecting my sales. If there are too many water filters in a small market, water filter sellers in a small market, people will possibly not buy bottled water anymore. Correct. So number of substitute products available, buyers' propensity to substitute. So buyer, if they want to really substitute, if I want to buy a water filter, I will never buy a canned bottled water, right? Okay. Relative price performance of substitutes. If the substitute's price is lower, why should I go and buy you? Correct. Perceived level of product differentiation. So in a filtered water and a bottled water of 20 rupees, there's no difference. At home, when I have a filter and I take filtered water and the water that I buy from outside in bottled water, they're same. So to me, both quality are same. Why should I go and buy your bottled water? Switching cost, zero. No switching cost. Okay, except that I have to bear the cost of buying a water filter. That's the only switching cost. Sometimes that in a bottled water industry, that's a bigger cost. Okay, that I am buying a filter. That's the switching cost. If that's a bigger cost, then I will continue to buy bottled water. Okay. Substitute producers, profitability and aggressiveness. So substitute producer, the filter. Suppose AquaGuard. Okay, AquaGuard is a filter which is there, and they are pretty aggressive. They are aggressive in their marketing. Their profitability is good. Their cost is low. They can give different offers, different schemes. So how big is your substitutes producer? How strong? What is the muscle power of that? Keeping that in mind is also important when you enter into a new business. Okay. And finally, of course, competition. If there are too many competitions, then it's not a very good idea to get into that industry. Okay, because the share of the market will be low for you. Okay, the share of the revenue, share of the volume will be low for you. And if the share of the revenue is low for you, the profit is also low for you. Correct. Diversity of competitors. Okay, that there are competitors who not only manufacture what you are manufacturing, they manufacture 100 other products. So their presence in the market is much stronger than you. Because they are a diversified company. They dominate market in different categories. And the buyers are more prone to such companies which can provide them a lot more solutions. You are giving buyers one solution. Another company comes and gives the buyer 5 different solutions. Okay, think about let me think about a company called maybe Patanjali. Patanjali is competing with Colgate-Palmolive. Okay, which is a multinational company in India for the last 70, 80, 100 years. Okay, they have all categories of dental products. So if I have to use a dental paste, I will go to Colgate. I have to buy a dental toothbrush, I'll go to Colgate. I want to buy dental flosses, I will go to Colgate. I want to buy a mouthwash, I will go to Colgate. Okay. So with one company, I have got so many products which are all great quality products, I have a lot of trust in the brand. So I will continue to be a loyal customer to Colgate. Patanjali only has one product, that is toothpaste, Dant Kanti toothpaste. So who is stronger? Colgate is stronger or Patanjali is stronger? As a customer, if you get 4 solutions with one company, will you go and trust that company more, or will you go and buy that company's products more, or you will buy only a toothpaste? Right. So diversity of competitor is also very important. Okay. Industry concentration and balance. Okay. Industry growth, is the growth good? If there are low number of competitors and the customers are big, then the industry growth is of course big. So you have to look at that. Industry life cycle, how long is the life cycle for any company's product to come into the market, from starting to introduce the product to every product has a life cycle. Every product has a life cycle. Okay, they get introduced. Okay, they get into a growth phase, they get into a maturity phase and saturation phase, and then they start declining. And this length of the period from introduction to decline is what is called a life cycle. And this life cycle is different for different industry, different products. Okay, so if I think about Nokia as a company, I'll give you a couple of examples. Think about Nokia as a company. Nokia came on this earth with the first mobile phone possibly, which was a feature phone which had buttons in it. Big, long, big phones. They slowly came into smaller phones also, but all of them were button phones. They ruled the world for 10 years. And by that 10 years, there were other electronic organizations who were working on mobile technology. They came up with Android. Apple came up with iOS. And these were all smartphones. Smartphones came into this world and slowly captured the whole mobile market. Nokia didn't change itself. They didn't want to get into smartphones. So they lost the game. They declined the market. The market started declining. And at one point of time, Nokia had to shut down. So the span of Nokia's total market was possibly not more than 15 years. Not even 15 years, 10 to 12 years. From introduction to growth to maturity and saturation, and then getting to decline and dying. So which stage of that life cycle is the industry in? You need to consider that and then get into that industry. Let me give you an example of a FMCG product, fast moving consumer. Think about dental powders. Possibly 30, 50 years back, dental powder was the only choice. Toothpaste was not a great choice. People used to, even I remember in my childhood, possibly I used dental powders.
वो कोलगेट का डिब्बे में सर जो बॉक्स में जो पाउडर आता था
कोलगेट का पाउडर, ठीक है,
लाल दंत सर
आज के, हाँ करेक्ट. So आज के दिन में dental powder is almost not there. People don't use it. The whole market has declined. So it took possibly 20, 30 years. The life cycle was possibly 20, 30 years or a little more possible. But finally, at one point of time, they declined. Now, importantly, does every company have to decline and die? No. So how do you keep yourself up in the market? Live in the market? By 4 things. Write it down. Remember for the rest of your life. By innovation, renovation, differentiation, and value addition. Continuously innovate your product, renovate your product, differentiate your product with your competitors, and value add in your product. Add more features, advantages, and benefits to your product. Okay. Innovate, renovate, differentiate, and value add. Okay. If you can do this, you will be a company like Apple possible. With every new model, once in 3 months to 6 months, Apple comes with new innovation, differentiation, very strong differentiation and value addition, new features, new advantages, new benefits. And that's the reason for the last 14 years, they are still going very strong. They are going very high. They have become one of the, loved brand in the industry. Okay. For them, the life cycle will, if they continue this way, their life cycle will be, they will be something like immortal. They will never die person. But yes, maybe 100 years later, something new comes in, and if they don't take that new path, they will possibly die. So industry life cycle is very important to understand. Which the competitors, where are they in the industry's life cycle? Quality difference is important. Product differentiation is important. Brand identity and loyalty is important. Okay. There are some brands which are very, very strong, have a strong identity and loyalty. So fighting with them will be a big, cost for you. Okay. Is when you fight with a very, very strong competitor and you enter into that same market, fighting with them will take a lot of cost from you, lot of money from you. Will that be a viable business? Will you be able to break even your break even in the market in 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, or it will take you 15 years to break even in your profitability? Correct. Switching cost again, intermittent overcapacity. Okay. Sometimes if your competitors have overcapacity, okay, and underutilization. Overcapacity means underutilization. They have capacity to produce more, they are not producing, or they are not able to sell so much. This is something which is to be considered. Yeah, I'm competing with a company in the market who have overcapacity, but they are underutilized. So that means the industry's capacity is underutilized. And I'm entering into that market. Will I be able to sell? Because मेरा कैपेसिटी 100 टन बनाने का है, मैं 70 टन बेच पाता हूं. द होल इंडस्ट्री 70 टन बेच पाता है, 30 टन अभी भी उसके पास कैपेसिटी पड़ा हुआ है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का, वो बना नहीं पा रहा है बिकॉज वो बेच नहीं पा रहा. शुड आई एंटर टू दैट मार्केट? नो, because it's the whole market the whole industry has an over capacity. Means it's underutilized. आपका कैपेसिटी है 100 टन मैन्युफैक्चर करने का, आप 70 टन यूटिलाइज कर रहे हो, उससे ज्यादा बेच नहीं पा रहे हो. एज ए न्यू एंट्रेंट शुड आई गेट इनटू दैट मार्केट? नो. ठीक है. इंफॉर्मेशनल कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, मुझे इस मार्केट के बारे में कुछ मालूम ही नहीं है, मैं करना चाहता हूँ, घुसना चाहता हूँ. कंपटीटर्स इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स है, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा उस मार्केट में कैसे एंट्री करूं. The information are so complex. Correct. And of course, barriers to exit. Okay, barriers to exit is another big thing, just like barriers to entry. ठीक है, हम लोग यहाँ पर हम लोग यहाँ पर threats of new entries में barriers to entry पढ़ा था एक जगह में. ठीक है, barriers to entry. ठीक है, barriers to entry is basically if there is, suppose, if you want to enter the market and there are some barriers like government policy, some barriers like, your competitors are too big, the customers are too brand loyal. Okay, the product differentiation is too huge to compete. These are all barriers. You cannot enter. If you need a huge capital investment, sometimes that's a barrier to entry and enter, right? If the switching cost is too high, that's a barrier to entry. Correct. And similarly, there are barriers to exit. आपने बहुत ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट कर दिया बिजनेस में, ठीक है. Now you are not having profits and आप वहां से निकलना चाहते हो, कैसे निकलोगे? You have already invested. ठीक है. You have already got too much of manpower. आप उसको निकालोगे कैसे? You have already created a big brand name in the market. You have got some good customers in the market, but you are not able to increase price. So your profitability is going down. Think about a brand called Parle G. All of us know Parle G is the largest selling biscuit in the world today, in the country today. But think about that poor product. For the last 50 years or maybe 25, 30 years, they could not increase their price. And I'm sure they're into negative profits as far as that product is concerned. However, they cannot exit the market, because if they exit the market, the brand name will be destroyed. Because on the basis of that brand, they are selling many other brands. अगर पार्ले जी नहीं रहेगा तो दुकानदार बाकी के प्रोडक्ट पार्ले से लेगा ही नहीं. So though they are making, losses, they have to continue with that brand. The barrier to exit is very high for them. Correct. Got it? Did you understand what I'm saying?
But sir, they are reducing the quantity of the biscuits, right?
कुछ भी कर ले, उस प्राइस में बिस्किट नहीं मिलना चाहिए आजकल। उस प्राइस में तो आटा नहीं मिलेगा, बिस्किट तो दूर की बात है।
बट उन्होंने सर पैकेजिंग साइज वगैरह भी बढ़ाया है पार्ले जी के, बिकॉज वो 5 रुपए वाले, 4 रुपए वाले, 2 रुपए वाले तो थे, 2 रुपए वाले उन्होंने खत्म कर दिए। बट
हाँ, साइज भी बढ़ाया, तो साइज तो प्राइस वाइज तो कम ही है ना, यूनिट प्राइस वाइज। अगर एक 20 ग्राम का पार्ले जी 2 रुपये में आता है, तो 100 ग्राम का 10 रुपया में ही आता है, उससे ज्यादा में नहीं आता है। ज्यादा में आएगा तो लोग खरीदेंगे नहीं। प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी पर यूनिट रिमेन सेम, इट्स एक्चुअली एट अ लॉस। क्योंकि थिंक अबाउट पैकेजिंग मटेरियल, थिंक अबाउट रॉ मटेरियल, थिंक अबाउट मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट, थिंक अबाउट सेल्स एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कॉस्ट, थिंक अबाउट जनरल एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट, सब कुछ है ना उसके पीछे। एक 2 रुपया का पैकेट के पीछे भी सब कुछ है, और 30 साल से सेम है। कैन यू, आपका अपना घर का खर्चा देखो, 30 साल से सेम है क्या?
नहीं सर।
तो फिर आप कैसे एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो कि 2 रुपए में बिस्किट मिलेगी? करेक्ट। And this is such a strong brand. It is their anchor brand. If they don't sell that, the retailers will not buy any other Parle brands. So the barrier to exit is very high because you've already created a huge brand name.
Right, sir.
It's something like Colgate toothpaste. If Colgate wants to get out of that market, then I will not sell toothpaste from tomorrow. It's very, very difficult for them to survive them because toothpaste is their anchor product. Correct. The brand loyalty, brand identity is hugely dependent on that particular toothpaste. Correct. आज Nestle का Maggi is an anchor brand. It's a huge brand. वहां से exit करना बहुत मुश्किल वाली बात है.
Right, sir.
कंपनी का बदनाम हो जाएगा. ठीक है. That company will never come back into the market again, possibly. ठीक है. So these are all rivalry among competition. So look at the competition very closely. Look at the barriers of exit. एक बार घुस तो सकते हैं हम. क्या है, एक प्लांट, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लांट बैठा दिया, प्रोडक्शन शुरू कर दिया, घुस गया मार्केट में, लेकिन प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी नहीं हुआ, वायबिलिटी नहीं हुआ, आई हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ द मार्केट, विल आई बी एबल टू गेट आउट ऑफ इट? ठीक है. मेरा एसेट्स है, मेरा कैपिटल एक्सपेंसेस है, मेरा मैन पावर है, मेरा सब कुछ है, ब्रांड नेम है, ब्रांड लॉयल्टी है, ब्रांड आइडेंटिटी है, सब कुछ है. विल आई बी एबल टू एग्जिट फ्रॉम देयर? ठीक है. ओके. सो दैट वाज on the Porter's 5 forces, and we were discussing this. This is the target market. Correct. Now we'll get into something. So हम लोग ने segmentation पढ़ा, targeting पढ़ा. Now we are getting into something called positioning. Okay. Okay. Positioning, the act of designing a company's offerings and image to occupy a distinctive place in the minds of target market. Okay. So first basic important understanding is, just excuse me, just once. Okay. So positioning, basically brand positioning is basically creating a unique perception in the minds of consumers. What do I do? Creating a unique perception in the minds of consumers. So why will you go and buy a Colgate toothpaste and not a Dant Kanti toothpaste? Why will you go and buy a Maggi and not a EP? Why will you go and buy a Adidas and not a Nike? Why will you go and buy a Pepsi and not a Coke? Why will you go and buy a Bisleri and not a local brand of, your bottled water? When you answer that why, that is what is called positioning. That is the perception in your mind. मैं आपको simple भाषा में समझा रहा हूं. ठीक है. The unique perception in the mind of consumer. Okay. For some reason or the other, if you go and have a pizza from Pizza Hut and not from Domino's, there is some perception in your mind that every time I'll go and I don't like, or maybe I like Pizza Hut better. I like Burger King better than McDonald's, or maybe McDonald's better than Burger King. I like Titan watches better than Casio watches. I like iPhone better than Samsung. That perception is somewhere there in your mind, in the minds of the consumer. And it's a very unique perception. Because there has to be a uniqueness, something different. That's why you go and buy that product every time. Okay. And so creating that unique perception in the minds of consumer is called brand positioning. The act of designing a company's offerings and image to occupy a distinctive place in the minds of target market, target population. What are your offerings? Your features, advantages, and benefits of your product, your quality and service of your product. Correct. So you are designing that feature, advantage, benefit of your product, your quality and service in such a way that you are occupying a distinctive place in the mind of consumers like Saurabh Chaudhary, like Meg, सबके दिमाग में किसी एक प्रोडक्ट के बारे में एक यूनिक परसेप्शन खड़ा किया हुआ है. A very, very live example, of course, is Apple. Okay. If I ask you, Saurabh, what do you think about Apple?
Sir, in continuously innovations and good technologies.
Perfect.
And features.
Fantastic. What about Meg? What do you think about Apple?
Sir, performance of mobile is better than other brands available in the markets.
Okay, so there are mobile, there are MacBook, there are earpods, there are a lot of products from Apple, correct? And I think all of us know that it's a very innovative company, technologically is a superior company. Okay, gives to the market what is latest requirement of the needs. Okay, so let's do one thing. Okay. Let's do one thing. I'll show you some positioning statements. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay, so हम लोग Apple की बात कर रहे थे, correct? Okay, I'll just share with you something which will be interesting. So हम लोग ने बोला Apple में innovation है, and so on and so forth. So we are going to now get into what Apple actually is all about. Yeah, so Apple's positioning statement. For individuals who want the best personal computer or mobile device, Apple leads the technology industry and most innovative product. So देखो आपके दिमाग में भी बैठा हुआ है innovation and technology. ठीक है. Apple emphasizes technological research and advancements and takes an innovative approach to the business best practices. आपके दिमाग में, मेरे दिमाग में, मेक के दिमाग में, ऐसे करोड़ों लोगों के दिमाग में इन्होंने ये परसेप्शन बैठा दिया है. They have created that unique perception. You will not say the same thing for Samsung. You will not say the same thing for Sony. You will not say the same thing for, Vivo or Oppo or Redmi. So this is what is called the positioning statement. And why it works, let us see, let us understand. The positioning statement for Apple appeals to people of all different backgrounds. It inspires them to expect quality product made with intent to innovate in a way that helps people and the environment. It also gains prospect trust by emphasizing on the industry authority. They are industry authority. Okay. Connects with the target audience by aligning itself with people who want the best. It also emphasizes the brand's leadership in the industry. Sells its products in a unique way with emphasis on innovative approach to research and technology and advancement. This is how they sell. Their uniqueness is all about this. Highlights core values by mentioning the customer and environmental impact its products and possesses and has. So they are also environment friendly. So technology, innovation, environment friendly, three very strong things along with industry leadership. They have the highest market share today. Okay. Offers a clear and focused message that quickly communicate the most important aspects of the brand and product. And that's why you and me, you don't use an iPhone, right? Do you use an iPhone or a MacBook? No. Still you believe that Apple is the best. That is the strength of brand position, a good brand position. Okay. So that's what, let's go to McDonald's. McDonald's positioning statement. McDonald's is a leader in the fast food industry and quick, friendly service and consistency across thousands of convenient locations. McDonald's dedication to improving operations and customer satisfaction sets it apart from other fast food restaurants. So what are the strong points? What are the unique points? Okay, first of all, fast food industry, quick, friendly service, consistency across 1,000 convenient locations. All locations, McDonald's quality will be consistent. Okay. McDonald's dedication to improving operations and customer. They are also a company who believes in innovation in operation and customer satisfaction. Okay. So 4 or 5 key words which makes them unique to other companies. Correct. Why it works? McDonald's doesn't narrow the target audience, but instead panders to individuals of all sorts looking for a fast and satisfying service. So they have not done a narrow segmentation to make their target. They have gone to McDonald's is a leader in the fast food industry with quick, friendly services and consistency across thousands of convenient locations. McDonald's dedication to improve operations and customer satisfaction sets it apart from other fast food restaurants. Okay. So they cater to all kinds of customers across. They don't say that we only cater to high income group or middle income group or low income group. We only cater to students or we only cater to teenagers and not the senior people. They cater to everybody. Okay. Connects with target audience by highlighting the qualities of a person, quantities of a person might seek in fast food restaurant. This strategy is effective because it appeals to a brand audience in specific situation. Okay. Highlighting the qualities of qualities a person might seek. Their most important thing is quality. आप फूड का क्वालिटी में आपको क्या चाहिए? टेस्ट चाहिए, you need quantity, you need quality in the sense of ingredients, you need quality in the sense of freshness and health. So they provide all of that. And that's what how they connect with their target audience. Sells its products in a unique way by mentioning how its operation and customer satisfaction goals differ from set of competitors. It doesn't compare itself to every restaurant, only fast food. They are not comparing themselves with a Taj restaurant or a Marriott restaurant. Okay. They are simply comparing themselves with fast food chains. The Burger Kings, the Pizza Hut, the Domino's, the Starbucks, and so on and so forth. Okay. Highlights core values by leading positioning statement with speed, service. These are their core values: speed, service, convenience, and consistency. Okay. Offers a clear and focused message in just 2 simple sentences. The statement shares what is most important to the brand in a compelling way. So ये 4 चीज में उन्होंने मात कर दिया बाकी लोगों को: speed, service, convenience, and consistency, all put together. That thousands of locations where McDonald's is there, they will provide the same thing: speed, service, convenience, and consistency. Consistency in quality, consistency in service, consistency in customer satisfaction. So people have started trusting them. Okay. So this is what your positioning statement means. Sorry. Okay. And it all talks about value proposition. What is there to offer to the consumers? Okay. Your features, your advantages, benefits, quality, service. Okay. What are those things in your service? Okay, what are the things in your quality? What are the things in your features of the product, advantage of the product, and benefits of the product? This overall is the value proposition, which should create that unique perception in the minds of consumers. Correct. So, value proposition, to just give you some examples of value proposition. So Hertz car rentals, हमारे यहाँ पर जैसे Zoom car rentals है, फिर there are plenty of other car rentals. वैसे Hertz car rental is a worldwide largest car rental. Target customers, busy professionals. ठीक है. Value proposition, fast, convenient way to rent the type of car at an airport. Fast, convenient. Everybody who gets out of an airport departure is always in a hurry. And more importantly, if he's a professional, he's in more of a hurry. He wants to reach his office, he wants to reach his clients, he wants to reach his customers as fast as possible rather than waiting at the airport. So it's a fast, convenient way to rent the right type of car at an airport. So unique way of presenting themselves, their value proposition. Correct. Volvo.
Sir, I'm coming 2 minutes, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm coming 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, sure, please. Yeah. Volvo station wagon. Safety conscious upscale families. Volvo is known worldwide for their safety. Okay. Safety conscious upscale families. Why upscale? Because they are expensive cars. So upscale families will be able to afford them. So that's their target customer. And what's the value proposition? The safest and the most durable wagon in which your family can ride. Safest and the most durable wagon. All the words: safest, durable wagon. So when you think of a wagon, which takes the whole family, and you need safest, that's Volvo. You need durable, that's Volvo. Everything is put in these 2 lines there. Safest, durable wagon. They're not saying safest, durable small car. They're not saying safest, durable SUV cars. They're not saying safest, durable sedan car. They're saying wagons. Wagon is a different class of car. Okay. Domino's Pizza, convenience-minded pizza lovers. Convenience-minded pizza lovers are their target customers. A delicious hot pizza delivered promptly to your door. In fact, they have extended it, deliver in 30 minutes to your door in India. They were the first to say that we deliver in 30 minutes. If you don't deliver in 30 minutes, then you get the pizza free. Correct. And this has become a unique thing in the minds of consumers. कि Domino's का 30 minutes में आता है, किसी और का नहीं आता. दूसरे का आता भी होगा तो they will say Domino's का आता है. ठीक है. This is the value proposition for Domino's. Correct. Competitive frame of reference defines which other brands that brand competes with and which should thus be the focus of the competitive analysis. Okay. identifying and analyzing competitors. Now, competitive frame of reference. I am selling a, smartwatch. I am selling a smartwatch. The Fitbit kind of a smartwatch. Okay. Now, do I compete with those analog watches? जो हमारे which has those कांटा है जिसमें नहीं. My competition is not that. Na? My smartwatch is a different kind of, it shows time, and along with that, it shows a lot of other things. It has a lot of other benefits. So my competition is in that category. Though in the overall umbrella category, it's a watch. But when I compare, my competitive frame of reference is only smartwatches of different companies. Correct. Got it? Did I make it clear? Okay. If I'm talking about, suppose let me talk about mobile phones. When I talk about mobile phones, I will talk about smartphones and I will talk about feature phones possibly. Feature phones for those buttons, they are still there in the market. Okay. So when I compare feature phones, I cannot compare it with Android phones or iPhones, because iPhones and Android phones are all smartphones. So I should be very, very clear about my competitive frame of reference. Defines which other brand or brand competes with, and which should thus be a focused competitive analysis. So when you do the competitive analysis, you will analyze one feature phone with another. You will analyze one Android phone with another. You will Android one, smartwatch with another. Okay. And so on and so forth, identifying and analyzing competitors. Okay. So which are my competitors' points of difference? So when I know the competitor's frame of reference, then I start thinking points of difference between my smartwatch and the other smartwatch. What is the difference? What are the attributes and benefits that consumers strongly associate with the brands? With one shampoo and another shampoo, shampoos for they have become subcategories. Shampoos for dry hair, shampoos for silky hair, shampoos for oily hair. So I can't compare a shampoo with dry hair with a shampoo for oily hair. Overall, the point of difference should be between shampoo for dry hair and another company's shampoo for dry hair. Okay. All the attributes and benefits consumers strongly associate with a brand, positively evaluate and believe they could not find to the same extent with the company. So what is that point of difference? One difference, two difference, that a consumer associates with the brand and says that, yes, because of this brand is better than the other. That's called POD, points of difference, attributes and benefits that consumers strongly associate with the brand, positively evaluate, these are positive, of course, and believe that they could not find to the same extent with a competitive brand. Correct. Point of difference criteria: desirable, deliverable, and differentiating. Okay. Desirable is by the customer. I desire that this particular anti-dandruff shampoo should take out all the dandruff from my hair. Desirable by the consumer. Deliverable by the organization, by the company. Yes, they have desired this, they need this, they want this, and we have delivered this. That my shampoo, if you use my shampoo, there'll be no dandruff in your hairs. And then between my shampoo and other shampoo, what is the difference? Both of us will remove dandruff from your hair. However, my shampoo will not harm your hair. It will keep your hair healthy and soft and silky. So apart from dandruff, taking care of dandruff, it will take care of my hair's health, It will not be harming, and it is natural, and will keep your hair soft and silky. This is the differentiating point. So actual point of difference is there. So what is desired by the consumer, what is delivered by me, and what is actually differentiating with the consumers, with the products. Okay, correct. Point of parity. Now, when we say point of difference, that's between one competitor and the other. Now, point of parity is attributes, benefits, associations that are not necessarily unique to the brand, but may in fact be shared with other brands. Now, first important thing is point of parities are all the common things between the brands. Now, if I say Sunsilk anti-dandruff shampoo and Dove soft and silky shampoo, the point of parity is both are shampoos. Correct. Both are shampoos. And if they are both not shampoos, you cannot compete with each other. So point of parity is very much important to make that product or the brand have an association. Okay, that is a category membership. In that category, it's a member of that category. You cannot compare a shampoo with a soap, right? Both of them can be used in the hair. But do you compare a shampoo with a soap? No. We will not compare a Lux shampoo and a Sunsilk shampoo and a Lux soap, a Sunsilk shampoo and a Pears soap, a Dabur Vatika shampoo and a Pears soap. No. Both of them can be brushed, put in the hair, but you don't compare like that, right? So the first thing to understand is that point of parity that will help that product of different companies to be in the same category, that will have a category membership. They may not be unique to the brand, but they are shared between different brands. So both of them are shampoos, both of them are anti-dandruff shampoos. Okay. That doesn't mean that both of them do not have any POD. Point of difference. And point of difference always doesn't mean to be there only in the product. The point of difference can be product and the service. Point of difference can be the product, the service, the brand name, the identity, brand identity, the people there. Okay. So did you understand what is point of difference and point of parity, and why is point of parity also important?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can't compare Maruti Alto car with a BMW. Maruti Alto is a 800 cc compact car or hatchback car. So to compare with it, I will compare only those cars which are first of all hatchback and in the 800 cc range. So that's also called a category membership, that you are only comparing between inside that category. Inside that category, there are 10 companies, 10 brands, 10 products of similar category, then only you compare. Now, let Saurav come. I will also explain you what a category is all about. Okay.
Sir, I'm here only.
Okay.
Is it possible, sir, that we can take a break for 10 minutes?
Yes, we can take a break for 10 minutes. Chalo. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
So shall we start?
Okay. So we understood what was point of parity, right? Okay, just like what was point of difference, there is something called point of parity. Okay, and point of parity is important, as important as point of difference. Point of difference actually gives you the base of competition. Okay, then what is your difference with your competition? Point of parity gives you the base for your category membership, that you are the right category to compare yourself with your competitor. Okay, I cannot compare a t-shirt with a shirt, right? I cannot compare a trouser with a jeans. When I compare jeans, I will compare all the jeans. So point of parity is important to ensure that you are unique in a particular category. Okay, your first thing is association. Category membership or association that are not necessarily unique brand, but may in fact be shared with other brands. Okay, and that's important for your category membership. Now, there are points of difference. There are POP forms. The first form is category that I said already, that whether I'm in the same category. Okay, whether I'm in that compact hatchback category of cars, or I'm in the sedan category of cars, or I'm in the SUV category of cars, to compare myself. Okay, that's first a point for point of parity, that keeping yourself first, or getting yourself first into that category. So as I was saying, that let me explain you what category is. Okay, and why should you be very, very careful when you're comparing yourself in that category. Now, a category is basically a set of products, okay, which has homogeneous attributes, similar attributes, okay, which have attributes which are common. Okay, so suppose I talk about beverages. What are beverages? Anything that you drink is a beverage. Correct? So beverage itself is a category. All the drinks, all the liquids which are used to drink, that's a category called beverage. Now suppose I am selling a juice. I am selling a juice, a mango juice. Okay. Now, if I want to calculate the market share of my mango juice, it's a beverage. So, do I calculate the market share in the whole beverage market? Possibly that will be wrong, because the beverage market has alcoholic beverage, non-alcoholic beverages also. Now you will say, no, boss, we will not compare with alcoholic beverage. It's quite big. Leave it aside. Now let us compare with non-alcoholic beverage. Do I compare with non-alcoholic all beverages? Possibly that is also not right. Because non-alcoholic beverages also has under them carbonated beverages and milk-based beverages and fruit-based beverages. Carbonated beverages like Pepsi, Coke, and so on and so forth. All carbonated drinks. It's a huge size of market. If I compare a mango juice with that, it will not be right. My share will be minuscule in points, decimals. Correct. So what I will do is, no, I will not compare in the non-alcoholic beverage market. I will compare in, not even in milk beverage market. I will only compare in fruit beverage market. So in fruit beverage market, there are apple juices, there are mango juices, there are berry juices, this is X, S, Y. Now you are in the same category, same subcategory, not the umbrella category of beverages. You have come down to your subcategory, and then you are comparing yourself in that subcategory of fruit juices. Now in that subcategory of fruit juices also, sometimes the fruit juice category itself is too big. In that, there are subcategories of apple juices, mango juices, strawberry juices, and so on and so forth. Should I compare with apple juice and strawberry juice and other juices? No, I will only compare with mango juices of different company. That gives me a parity. I am in the same level. All the mango juices of different category in different companies under the same umbrella. Now I start comparing. Now I start finding the PODs, point of differences. Now I also can find out the market share, and that gives me a relevant satisfaction. Plus, your market share is 20%, 30%, 10%, whatever. Agar मैं whole beverage category में अपना compare करता, my share would have been decimals, and that would not be right. Correct? Got it? Okay. Now, so that's what a category membership is. Okay, where you first find out what are the common things in the category. Okay, so all the mango juices are mango based, so they are the common thing. All the 800 cc hatchback cars are 800 cc, and they are hatchback. These are the common. Okay. So that category membership association has to be there. There may not be anything unique. Now, there is something also called correlation, point of parity correlation. Sometimes have you heard these kind of statements? The best car at the lowest price, right? So correlation is absolutely negative. Two terms which are negative but correlated. The best performing car at the lowest price. The most punctual airlines with the lowest price. Correct. And so on and so forth. Okay. So correlations are usually negative terminologies which are correlated to represent a category or a brand or a product. Okay. And this is again something which is in the minds of consumers. Okay. They have a perception. Okay. The best design at the lowest price. Okay. The most are the best quality product from the most unbranded company, or something like that. And last but not least, competitive point of parity. All those things that you do to overcome your weaknesses over your competitors. So let me give you an example. So suppose Domino's and Pizza Hut both are pizza companies. Both are fast food restaurants, they serve pizzas. How did Domino's, and that's the point of parity, they are all pizza fast food restaurants. Now, when Domino's found out that Pizza Hut also makes good fast foods, pizzas, they said that let us make something more, give something more to the consumers that will give me a competitive advantage. So they said that we will deliver in half an hour. So that service is their competitive advantage. Correct. Their service is their competitive advantage. So always, whenever you are having a brand and you want to have your point of differentiation, you want to do a positioning. First of all, you're making a positioning statement, you're positioning the brand, unique perception in the minds of consumer. First thing is, what are the point of differences? In fact, rather not POD first, POP first. Which category am I comparing with? What are the competitions there? What does the competition say? What do I say? Okay, do they say we are the best in the lowest price? Something like that? Okay, and then what are my weaknesses over my competitor and how can I overcome those weaknesses? Or if I don't have a weakness, if we both are equal, what can I do more to be unique to my competitor? Those are the three things that you need to always carry. And then think about those point of differences. Okay, the difference can be in quality, in service, in features, in advantages, in benefits, in your brand name, brand identity, brand loyalty, in your people. Okay, anybody, even people can be a difference, right? Okay, and point of difference and point of parity, brand mantras. Brand mantras are usually those taglines, 3 to 5 words. Okay, very simplified form of how you are positioning, how you're communicating to the consumers or your customers, your uniqueness, your quality, your service. And at the same time, you're inspiring your employees around the brand mantras, around those 3 to 5 words, 3 to 5 words taglines, sort of. So let me again come back to some examples for you. Okay. Yep. So okay. Okay, brand mantras of all time, Nike, authentic athletic performance. Disney, fun family entertainment. BMW, ultimate driving machine. Okay, these are some of the brand mantras. Okay, I have a few more. Okay, Apple, think different. Okay, whatever positioning statement you have seen in Apple, the full they have put it in 2 words, think different. Okay, McDonald's, food, folks, and fun. Okay, Nike, authentic athletic performance, Disney, we know, BMW, we know, and so on and so forth. So many of them. Okay, so what they have done, the full positioning statement, they came to make it in 2 or 3 or 5 words. Okay, and very, very important. Sorry. 2 or 3 or 5 words, and very, very importantly, maximum 5 words communicates the category and being unique and bring the uniqueness of the brand. Okay, what do? They communicate the category first of all. Okay, so something like BMW, the category is driving machine. Okay, and suppose Disney, fun and entertainment is the category. Okay, Nike, athletic performance is the category. Okay, and then what is the uniqueness? So authentic is the uniqueness here, ultimate is the uniqueness here, homemade is the uniqueness here. Okay, got it. And finally, of course, they inspire their employees. That good tagline inspire. So for Nestle, the tagline is, or the brand mantra is, good food, good life. Okay, for my company, the tagline is good food, good life, or the brand mantra is good food, good life. Okay, so it inspires everybody in the organization that we are manufacturers and sellers of good food, which gives good life. Okay. So similarly, Goodyear must be having something, Panasonic must be having something. Go and find them out. Try and start learning what are the points of difference with my competitor, what are the point of parity with my competitor, what does my brand mantra communicate, what is the brand positioning of Panasonic, what is the brand positioning of Goodyear, what is this positioning statement, and from there, how they came to the brand mantra. Okay. This is all something that you can always go back and take your time out and study. The more you study, the more you do that research, the better you will learn. Okay, got it? Okay. Communicating POPs and PODs negatively correlated attributes. Low price, high quality. Very often we say highest quality at the lowest price. ठीक है, जो correlation बता रहा था मैं थोड़ी देर पहले आपको, correlation, this is called correlation. Excellent taste but low calorie. हम लोग सोचते हैं ना कि बहुत अच्छा टेस्ट होगा तो उसमें घी तेल तो रहेगा ही. It cannot be low calorie. But if I say that it's an excellent taste at a low calorie, then it strikes my mind. This company says excellent taste at low calorie. Powerful for some cars, they say Porsche. Porsche is the car which is the fastest car possibly on road, and they say powerful and versus safe. Powerful and safe. Okay. Ubiquitous, but it's versus exclusive. We are ubiquitous, that is, we are very unique, but exclusive. Okay. Varied and simple. We have variety, but we have simple. These are some of the correlations. Correlation statements are often used in our positioning statements also. Okay. So brand positioning bullseye, I'm not going into this. It's a big structure basically. So brand mantra, rich, rewarding coffee experience is the brand mantra. Point of parity are responsible, locally involved, fairly priced. Okay. So basically, what it says is basically we are responsible people, society people who are locally involved. That is, we get the coffee beans from local farmers. Okay. So that's our point of parity. Okay. So all the organizations who makes coffee, okay, and they procure, they are fairly priced. Fair price is basically, in coffee market, basically fair price is coffees are grown in farms, right? And anything that is agriculture product grown in farm, fair price is giving good price to the farmer. Giving fair price, not extracting from the farmer, farmer ko cheat nahi karna, giving them the fair price. That's a policy in the coffee farming also. So we are a part of that fair priced market, and we go and sell their beans in the fair price market, and we are responsible and locally involved. So we are locally involved with the farmers also. Okay? And our brand mantra to start with was rich, rewarding coffee experience. What are our points of difference with other companies? So relaxing, rewarding moments, rich sensory consumption experience. So our coffee's experience is different. It has a better sensory, that is taste experience. Convenient, friendly service. So this is basically of Starbucks. Starbucks as a company. Fresh, highly quality coffee, varied, exotic, and coffee drinks. This is what we can say is the difference with any other coffee day or international coffee brands, Maxwell House, and so on and so forth, who have their fast coffee chains. Okay. And then comes the substantiators. Okay. What is this? RTB, reason to believe. substantiates. When I say there's a point of difference, when we say that these are my qualities, point of parity, point of difference, these are my unique things, then what is the reason to believe? Substantiators. What substantiates that? Okay. So first one is 24-hour training of the baristas. The baristas are the people who serve in this cafe coffee day and the क्या नाम है Starbucks जो बनाते हैं वहां पर कॉफी बना के सर्व करते हैं, ठीक है. So their training, we give 24 hours training for them. Totally integrated system, starting from procurement to the sales, everything is integrated in, through system, computers, servers, okay. So everything is transparent from back end to front end, okay. Triple filtrated water. All our Starbucks centers have triple filtrated water, so the quality of water is very high. That's what substantiated. Stock options, health benefits for baristas. So मैं barista का सिर्फ training ही नहीं करता हूँ, उनका मैं care भी करता हूँ. We give them shares of our company, we give them health benefits, insurances, and so on and so forth. Correct. And finally, values, personality, and characteristics of this company. Thoughtful, contemporary, caring. Contemporaries, we are latest, trending. Okay. Green and earth colors, colors. Basically, sustainability, eco-friendly. We are eco-friendly. Okay. And our logo, of course, is something very exclusive. Okay. Executional properties, visual identity. So our logo is very exclusive. दूर से भी आप कैफे कॉफी अरे स्टारबक्स का लोगो देखोगे समझ जाओगे ये स्टारबक्स. मैकडोनल्ड्स का लोगो देखोगे ये समझ जाओगे मैकडोनल्ड्स है, ठीक है. सो दैट्स देयर विजुअल आइडेंटिटी, ठीक है. And executional property, they execute in a manner called the green, the eco-friendly manner. So these are all their brand positioning bullseye, as they say. Consumer takeaway, Starbucks gives me the richest possible sensory experience drinking coffee. Richest possible sensory experience means taste, smell. These are all sensory experiences. Okay, taste and smell mostly. Okay, consumer target, discerning coffee drinkers, consumer insight, coffee and drinking experience is often unsatisfying. Okay, so consumers usually both think coffee drinking is not satisfying. It's not a very great drink to have. Okay. Consumer needs state, desire for a better coffee and a better consumption experience. So when you drink a coffee, you should have that great experience. Consumers desire, consumers need, consumer want is that they have got a insight that coffee doesn't taste good. And their demand or need or desire is, I want to taste a good coffee, have a good experience with coffee. And finally, competitive production, local cafes, fast food restaurants, and convenience shop. दुनिया भर के कॉफी शॉप पड़े हुए रोड की साइड में. You are competing with them. That's the environment for you. This is your customers' takeaway. Finally, when they came to Starbucks here, they take away this. And this is how you have positioned yourself. So whenever you design a new product, you design some new business, this is what you need to follow. Okay. What's your brand mantra? What's your brand positioning statement? Say brand mantra, then point of parity, point of difference, substantiators, value, personality, character, and finally execution properties. Okay? Okay, got it? Okay. So monitoring competition. So when we start monitoring competition, when we are in the competitive market, we have positioned ourselves there, we have started doing business. Couple of things that we can monitor, and there are plenty of other things I'll tell you. The share wala jo word hai na, it can be used in very many different ways. Okay? Share of market, share of mind, share of heart. Okay? Assessing potential of competitors. So in the share of market, basically, if the market is 100 tons and there are 3 competitors, one is selling 20 tons, one is selling 30 tons, one is selling 50 tons, the share of market is 50. My share of market is 50%. Share of mind is basically how much your consumer is aware of you and they remember you. So there is a test actually. You can go and do that test with your consumers, and see that how many of them are aware of your product, your brand, how many of them are interested or are, not only aware, they recall your brand also. There is a brand recall also. If you tell them which is the best coffee you remember, they should be able to say Nescafe. If out of 100, 90 of them say Nescafe, then you know 90% is a share of mind. Then comes share of heart. Share of heart means he is interested and he considers to buy your product and drink your product. So once you have tested with them the awareness and brand recall, now go and check with them how many of them are interested to use your product, how many of them consider to buy your product, how many of them tried your product. And that's where you start getting the share of heart. Sometimes we also say share of wallet, share of stomach. Share of wallet is if you are earning and you have suppose 1,000 rupees in your pocket, how will you spend that 1,000 rupees? How many rupees will you buy a Maggie? How many rupees will you buy a watch? How many rupees will you buy a t-shirt? How many rupees will you buy an hair oil? So in your total income, what is the portion that you are going to spend for Maggie? That's your share of wallet. And your aim is, as an objective or a goal, is to increase that share of wallet. कि मेरा 5 रुपए का मैगी खरीदता है वो महीने में, why doesn't he buy 10 rupees? How do I make it 10 rupees? Okay, share of stomach for foods. That in all the foods that you have, if I have to find out share of stomach of Maggie, in all the food that you have in a month, how many grams of Maggie do you have? If they say that no, out of 10 kilos of food I have in a month, I have 50 grams of Maggie, how do I increase that to 100 grams of Maggie? So if you have to give 100 grams of Maggie, have 100 grams of Maggie, you have to reduce something else. Correct? Because the stomach size is same. आप 10 किलो खा रहे हो 10 किलो ही खाओगे, लेकिन उसमें शायद 5 किलो राइस खा रहे हो, ओके, एंड कुछ और भी खा रहे हो, और 50 ग्राम सिर्फ मैगी खा रहे हो. Can I increase that to 100 grams and reduce the quantity of rice or something else? Correct. So there are so many variables in assessing the potential of the company. Okay. Now we'll come to branding. Okay. Let me see whether I can finish branding today. Okay. How does branding work? American Marketing Association say a brand is a name, a term, a symbol, a design, or a combination of them intended to identify the goods or services of one seller or product one seller or group of sellers, and to differentiate them from those of competitors. So this brand, whatever you see around you, okay, has a name, has a term, has a sign, has a symbol, has a design, has a color, has a font. Correct? Has a text sometime, and a combination of all of them. And what does it do? It identifies the goods or service of one seller or group of sellers with another seller or group of sellers as a company. So a Coke is different to a Pepsi. So the Coke's brand, if you see a Coke's brand name or the logo, you understand it's Coke, it's not Pepsi. It identifies between the competitors. Okay. You see a Alan Solly logo and you see a Louis Philippe logo, you will identify this is Alan Solly and this is Louis Philippe. This Louis Philippe is not Alan Solly. Okay. Same products, but different identity. Through the logo, through the sign, through the symbol, through the name, through the text, through the font, through the color. Correct. And that's what a brand is all about. Okay. So, brand, what is the role of a brand? A role of a brand is to simplify product handling. Okay. Suppose think about a distributor. Think about a distributor. He has Castrol, he has Goodyear, he has Elf, he has many other brands. He has Bharat Petroleum, he has Indian Oil, a lot of them in his warehouse. And suppose all of them had similar packaging of cans, plastic cans of lubricants, and they didn't have the brand name. First of all, how will you identify them? How do you differentiate them? And second, very importantly, how do you handle them? If people need 100 liters of Castrol, how will you handle them? You may be going to and bringing the Goodyear lubricant for the Castrol customer. So it's simply, हाँ बोलो.
So can we identify with the different packaging and the color code?
The thing is that that's what I said. The packagings are not always different, na? Not always different. Similar category of products. Suppose think about Maggi and EP. If you just had white packets, same noodles inside white packets, how will you identify which one is EP and which one is? Because there is a color, there is a text, there is a brand name, there is a logo, there is a design. That's the reason you are able to identify them and handle them. Lubricant market, most of the lubricant come in the same kind of cans. The brand names and the labels are put on them. If the labels with the brand name and the color and the design and the logo and the font are not same, how will you identify? How will you handle them? So once your brand is made, your brand name is made, your logo is made, your design is made, color is made, font is made, text is made, then only you start designing your label. Then only you put on your packaging. Correct? Am I right? It helps in organizing inventory and accounting. कितना कैस्ट्रॉल है, कितना गुडियर है, कितना 1 liter है, कितना 5 liter है, कैस्ट्रॉल का गुडियर का, it will help you. The brand name itself will help you. Correct? कि कैस्ट्रॉल का इतना है, गुडियर का इतना है, एल्फ का इतना है, and so on and so forth. Offers legal protection. The brand name offers legal protection. Nobody can copy. A brand name has a copyright. Nobody can copy. It gives you a legal protection. Creates brand loyalty. If your customers like you and love you, and he's loyal to you, that's because you have a brand name there. If the customer did not know what brand you are, will they ever be brand loyal? No. And of course, secure competitive advantage because the brand name is there. That's the reason you know that this brand is better than that. Correct. Secures that competitive advantage. Okay. Defining brand equity, added value endowed to the product with consumers. Okay. So, marketing advantage of strong brands, improved perception of product performance, greater loyalty, less vulnerability to competitive marketing actions. So when you are doing some marketing action, you're promoting, you're doing advertising, people can identify the advertisement with that particular brand. उस advertisement अगर आपका brand name नहीं है, will people be able to remember? So the vulnerability is less because you have, for all the competitive marketing actions that you do, okay, less vulnerability of marketing crisis. ठीक है, मेरा कोई भी marketing crisis हो नहीं सकता if I have a brand name. What does that mean? That I will be able to promote the product, I will be able to distribute the product because I have a brand. Okay, if you don't have a brand name, go and try and sell the product in the market. It will be a crisis for you. Okay. Larger margins because you have a brand, you are a brand and you are not an unbranded product, you can charge better price, and of course, that's the reason you charge better margins. Think of a shirt which is available in the footpaths. And price is possibly 300 rupees. And think about a shirt which is possibly branded as Louis Philippe or some of the bigger brands, Allen Solly and so on and so forth. They charge you 3,000 rupees. Because it's Louis Philippe, you are ready to go and pay 3,000 rupees. And of course, the company earns better margins and profit. Correct. More inelastic consumer responses to price increases. Yep. So if it's a good brand, more inelastic consumer response to price increase. What is elasticity of price? Elasticity of prices with 1 unit of price increase. Okay. how much volume or sales or revenue increase is there. Some products are inelastic. Price increase doesn't change the volume, doesn't change the sales volumes. Some products are elastic, very highly elastic. 1 unit of price change changes the volume like anything, brings down the volume like anything. Suppose petrol. 70 रुपया पेट्रोल था या 50 रुपया पेट्रोल था, आज 110 रुपया पेट्रोल है. Has the consumption gone down? Think about at your home. Ask your mummy, ask your mother, your wife. सरसों का तेल 60 रुपया लीटर था या किलो था, आज 140 रुपया किलो है. घर पे सरसों का तेल कम यूज हो रहा है क्या? नहीं. सेम पकोड़े अभी भी तल रहे हैं. That is inelasticity. The price change doesn't affect the sales volumes change much. At the same time, there are a lot of products for which price changes, there's a lot of volume changes. The volume goes down drastically. Okay. Something like you had been eating possibly McDonald's for a long time, and you know that in 100 rupees I get a good burger. Tomorrow, suddenly that burger's price changes to 150. Your consumption will go down. Possibly पहले आप हफ्ते में एक बार खाते थे, अभी 2 हफ्ते में एक बार खाओ. नहीं यार, प्राइस बढ़ गया है. Suppose you were going to movie in a local hall, which was a normal cinema hall, which used to give you tickets at 50 rupees. And every movie, every week, new movie coming, you used to go and see it in the hall. That movie hall has changed to a multiplex now, and the tickets prices have gone up to 350 rupees. Will you see a movie every week? No. Then you will say, "Nahi boss, TV mein aa jayega 15 din mein, dekh lenge." That is inelasticity. Correct. Now, when you have a, हाँ बोलो.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, थोड़ा वो एक explain कर पाएंगे sir, like elasticity of supply, demand and price, because वो comparison I think कहीं देखा था मैंने बहुत time.
नहीं, same चीज है. एक चीज है supply and demand का, ठीक है. Demand and price एक चीज है, supply and price एक चीज, ठीक है. Demand and price जो मैं अभी आपको बता रहा था. The price changes and the demand doesn't change much, then it's inelastic. The product or the brand is inelastic. If the price changes and the demand goes down heavily, then it's an inelastic product, elastic product. Same thing, okay? Just the opposite actually. If the price changes, goes up and the supply goes down, so basically supply is dependent on demand. Okay. As the demand goes up, supply should go up, right? Okay. Sometimes what happens is demand goes up, but the supply is not gone up. What will happen? It will be a crisis in the market. Shortage in the market, right? Correct. Demand has gone up, but supply has not gone up. It's a crisis in the market, shortage in the market. And what happens when shortage is there in the market? Price goes up. Black marketing shuru ho jata hai, etc. shuru ho jata hai, price goes up. So when supply goes down, demand goes high, price goes up. Okay, that is an elastic market. Absolutely price, demand, supply, demand, and price elastic market. At the same time, when demand goes down and supply goes up, what happens? Market is full of stocks. Stocks are not selling. Inventory ज़्यादा है market में. Price goes down. People want to liquidate their stocks. People want to sell off their stocks at a lower price. भैया margin नहीं चाहिए, पहले माल ले लो. Profit नहीं चाहिए. Can you understand the relation now between supply, demand, and price? Okay. Make.
Yes, sir.
Saurabh. Correct. However, price elasticity separately is a different thing. Price demand, supply, demand, and price elasticity is a different thing. Second wala is much easier to understand. भैया supply कम रहेगा, demand ज्यादा है तो cost बढ़ेगा, price बढ़ेगा. Demand supply ज्यादा है, demand कम है तो price कम होगा.
सर एक एग्जांपल देना चाहूंगा.
हाँ जी, हेलो.
एक एग्जांपल सर, फॉर एग्जांपल अभी जैसे देखते हैं ना जो ग्रोसरीज वगैरह डिलीवर होती है अमेजोन वगैरह पे एंड
करेक्ट.
तो सर जिसकी एक्सपायरी नजदीक आती है
उसको भेज देते हैं 10 रुपया डिस्काउंट, 50 रुपया डिस्काउंट. Think about our COVID times. The demand of hand sanitizer became so big, the mask became so big, supply was so low that it was selling at some crazy prices. एक छोटा सा बॉटल 300-400 रुपए में बिकता था. सप्लाई नहीं था, डिमांड बहुत ज्यादा था, प्राइस वाज गोइंग हाई. टुडे आफ्टर कोविड 2 years later, supply is so much, demand is almost nil. आपको 10 रुपए में भी मास्क मिल जाएंगे, 50 रुपया में भी एक बड़ा बॉटल सैनिटाइजर मिल जाएगा. Correct? However, if it is a good brand, elasticity is very less. Prices, change in price doesn't change the demand much. आज अगर Vanuation का शर्ट आप पहनने में आदी हो, if you are used to wearing Vanuation shirts at 3,000 rupees, tomorrow that shirt becomes 3,250 or 3,500, doesn't matter. You will go and buy if you need it. Correct. So if you have a brand, if it's a good brand, more elastic consumer response to price increase. More inelastic. Okay. More elastic consumer response to price decreases. If you give a discount, if you discount to Vanuation shirt, suppose you give a 25% discount to Vanuation shirt, the sales goes up. Huge. So good big brands have a real good effect when price decreases. But when the price increases, there is not much of an effect. Okay, got it? Greater trade cooperation and support. If you have a good brand, your distributors will be cooperating with you. Just think about Unilever, think about Nestle, think about P&G. Okay? Think about Goodyear, think about Panasonic. Distributors respect you. If you do not have a great brand, then of course distributor will not treat you well. Your trade partners will not treat you well. Increasing marketing communication effectiveness. Your advertisements are more effective. Your marketing communications are more effective when you have a good brand name. Possible licensing opportunities. Okay, what is that? Basically, if you are a good brand, you can licensing in the sense you can give a franchisee somewhere for people to do their own business with your brand name and so on and so forth. Okay, additional brand extension opportunities. You have a good brand. I have got a brand of shirts. Louis Philippe is a brand of shirts. If Louis Philippe tomorrow wants to come into jeans, they can easily do it. They have established themselves as an apparel company. Correct. Okay. So similarly, Samsung, they are a company, electronic company. They had mobile phones, they had TVs. Okay. Now they have all kinds of electronic products, starting from earphones to home automation to anything and everything. They have extended. They have a huge opportunity of extension. Apple came with, their computers. Apple first came on this earth with their computers. Mac. Okay. And today they are into Mac, they're into laptop, MacBooks. They have got into phones, they have gone to earpods, they have gone into so many electronic products. So there's a high possibility if you are established as a brand, you can extend your brand Your brand extension opportunities are high. Improved employee recruitment and retention. Your employee branding is high. You as an employer, your branding is very high. So employees want to join you. Employees want to stay with you. Okay. Because you have a big brand name. And big brand name is a must for everybody in their CVs, in their life, because big brand name does not only give you money, it also gives you security and safety. Okay. And greater financial market returns. If you have a good brand name, you can sell your product at a higher price, you can get good profits, good margin, good market returns, your share prices goes up, okay, and so on and so forth. Correct. Did I, up to here, is it all clear? So these are all things which adds to brand equity. Added value endowed to the product and consumers. These are all added value to the consumers, stakeholders, and that's what brand equity is. Okay. Basically, brand equity is brand preference. Why people prefer your brand? Because of all these reasons. As a consumer, as an employee, as a stakeholder, shareholder, people prefer your because of many of these reasons. Okay. Defining brand equity, again, customer-based brand equity, the differential effect brand knowledge has on consumer response to the marketing of that brand. Difference in consumer response, brand knowledge, perception, preference, and behavior, all put together creates your brand equity. Okay. How does a consumer respond to your brand over a competitor? What knowledge does the consumer have about your brand? The more knowledge the consumer has about your brand, and if it is a positive knowledge, they will have a better brand equity. What perception, what preference, what behavior does a person show about your brand? This all, together adds to that brand equity. So, brand promise, the market's vision of what the brand must be and do for the consumers. So, when you are making a brand, every brand has a brand promise. Okay. So if you talk about a brand promise for Nestle, so brand promise for Nestle is the most, or maybe it is the best food company in the world which provides good quality food, okay, to its consumer. That's a promise. Always good quality food, which is healthy for consumers. Okay. Similarly, possibly Apple, we know, is the best technology and innovation company. That's the promise to the consumers. By any hook and crook, you cannot get out of that promise. ठीक है, मैं food company हूं, मैं best electronic company बन गया, नहीं. I don't want to do that. My promise is basically I want to be the best food company. I want to be the best airlines, best on-time airlines at the lowest price. These are all different aspects of brand equity. Okay, so एक काम करते हैं. Let's close it today here, and we'll start with brand equity model next. Okay. So we'll come back on Saturday at 7. Okay, sure.